Hello and welcome to the NHL preview event, day one. I guess we'll say day one. Let's do some house cleaning first before we get anything going here. We are super excited that the NHL is dropping their puck in a week's time. So we are super excited for that. And what else? Sorry, I'm at two things at once right now. But yes, so the NHL is back. All the NHL divisions are back, and we are super excited. Instead of doing an 82 game or 80, actually no, blah, 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 blah. Last year with the whole pandemic, with the 56-day schedule, now we're bringing it back to the normal season with 82, and we are super excited. I am excited. Hockey's almost here, and the puck drop will be a week from tomorrow. So, wow, it's super exciting. We got some heavy games to start off with the start of the season. We'll go briefly. We'll talk about the back-to-back Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins on their banner raising, and then we have two of the expansion teams going after each other in Vegas, where the Golden Knights are taking on the newly Seattle Krakens. Now, speaking of the Krakens, we do like to say welcome to the league. We are very excited to have you in the league and in the Pacific Division, because we had to move the Arizona Coyotes over to the Central Division to make each division equal with 8 teams. So we officially have 32 teams in the NHL. Who would have thought we would have 32 teams? But none of that. That's awesome. That's great. So now the real reason why we are here, that you are here watching me talk about this, is we are going to break down each division doing a preview special. I'm going to do a 4-part event to break down each division. And I'm not going to give you my predictions. I'm not going to give you my champion, my playoff contenders. I will leave that not till this weekend. I will give you my predictions and kind of go from there. I'm just kind of just breaking down each team, each division, and going from there. So in the meantime, let's get into it. Let's get a deep dive into things, and we are going to talk in the Western Conference Pacific Division. And you guys know who we're talking about today. Our first team we're going to be talking about. I'm sure you guys probably don't know. Maybe not. But we're going with the brand new Seattle Krakens. Yes, we are talking about the Seattle Krakens. They are the first team that we will be talking about in the Pacific Division. Now, let's get this straight here, folks. Obviously, they are a new team, so there's really nothing to break down from last season. So they are going to be coached for the coach as their first season. They're the helm of Dave Haskell. I'm sorry if I may not pronounce names correctly, but I do my best. Okay, so let's get down to the 3 keys for this Kraken team itself. One is basically the goaltending and defense. Now, the Kraken's biggest strength is in goal with their starter, Philip Grubauer. Now, Philip Grubauer is was a surprise free agent from the Avalanche, which I don't know why the Avalanche did not re-sign him or gave him an extension, but he is a fantastic goaltender, one of the top goaltenders in the league right now, and on his A game, along with the backup Chris Dregler. Sorry if I might pronounce the name wrong. And then their second biggest strength is their defense, which is led by Mark Giordano, Jamie Olsak, Vince Dunn, and Adam Larson. But the biggest question is their offensive firepower to win, especially against their opponents with high-end offensive stars. Seattle must have to rely on the goaltending and structure. Their second key for the Seattle Krakens are the offense surprises. The Krakens have offensive depth, 8 forwards reaching double digits in goals last season. And that doesn't include Jaden Schwartz, who had scored at least 19 goals in a season 5 times. What they don't have is anyone who scores more than 17 last season. And what they might need is someone to surprise. Will players slot higher in the lineup before breaking out with more opportunity or struggling against tougher matchups? They do have William Karlsson. When the Vegas Golden Knights won the Pacific Division in their inaugural season in 17-18, Karlsson came out of nowhere and became the number 1 center, scoring 43 goals after scoring more than 9 in a season before. So their last key for this Seattle Kraken's inaugural season kicks off is their identity. The real question is, who are the Krakens? How do they play? How do they beat other teams? The way they've built and the way the coach Dave Haskell started training camp, it seemed they will be gritty and aggressive. Giordano and forwards Yanni Giroux and Brandon Tavan. Sorry, again, I might pronounce his last name wrong, so forgive me. Could be tone setters as players who earn spots in the NHL as undrafted free agents. But is an expansion team of players from elsewhere who have not played together before, and everyone needs to come together on and off the ice, bonding as teammates and developing an identity for this team. Haskell has plans for the team building events this week before the regular season opener against Vegas on October 12th. So yes, we have discussed that. So that's the one. Those are 3 keys for the Seattle Krakens to start the season off. Where they want to be at. If they want to be the best team out of the Pacific Division, and show that another expansion team can do really well, just like Vegas did 3 years ago. But speaking of Vegas, now we are getting into the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, they really have had a interesting off season. Don't tell me why. It's just how it played out. I don't know. But they got rid of Marc-Andre Fleury and traded him to Chicago, which, whatever, it is what it is. But hold on 1 second. There we go. So obviously their third season is on the helm of the coaching staff is Peter DeBoer. Last year they were 40-14-2, second in the Honda West Division, and lost to the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup semifinals. So the three keys for these guys, also, like I was saying earlier, is Leonard replacing Fleury. Now, Robert Leonard needs to reward the Golden Knights' faith after they have traded Marc-Andre Fleury to Chicago back in July 27th. Fleury was the face of the franchise since the expansion draft in 2017 and is the reigning winner of the Vezina Trophy, which goes to the best goalie in the league as voted by the NHL general managers. But Leonard is a younger 30 instead of 36, less expensive, $5 million above our average annually value instead of $7 million. Locked up through the 24-25 season instead of the 2022 season. And elite in his own right, a Vezina finalist with the New York Islanders in 19 and 20. Now the second key is improving the power play. Vegas scored at least 17.8% of its power plays in the regular season and 9.3% in the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2021, and went 0 for 15 on the power play in 6 straight games against the Canadiens in the semifinals. A big reason the Golden Knights were eliminated, which was the biggest reason why they were eliminated. Duh. Okay, wonderful. If you don't have a good power play unit or a PK unit, you can't win games. They added forwards Ivani Dadonov, excuse me for that, I can't pronounce that right, and Nolan Patrick should help. Dadonov, who scored 25 power play goals for the Florida Panthers from 2017 to 2020. Find soft spots and deflects pucks in the slot. Patrick can play the net front, bumping Mark Stone to the half wall where he can make more plays there. And the third one, the Golden Knights, or the third one is handling pressure. The Golden Knights tied, remember guys, tied last year the Colorado Avalanche for the most points in the NHL season. Lost the President's Trophy for the best record in the league on a tiebreaker, and reached the Final Four of the playoffs for the third time in 4 seasons. That's insane. That's amazing. Yet it's not good enough in Vegas, where it's Stanley Cup or bust. In an interview in September, Stone, the captain, said this. He didn't handle pressure well, and his game changed because of it. He said a lot of his teammates felt the same kind of pressure. The Golden Knights didn't battle adversity as well as they would have liked. The next big test won't come until the playoffs. Now, here's the thing with that quote by Mark Stone. Yes, I do agree that they need to face adversity when it is. They have to beat tiebreakers in order to be the best President's Trophy team in their division. And it's a very tough division on where they're at. Don't get me wrong, it's super tough because it's super. Obviously with everything going back together now in their Pacific Division, they have to face teams like Edmonton and Vancouver and Calgary and Anaheim and LA, San Jose, and also Seattle. It's what it is. It is what it is. They have to have that mindset, and they have to play very well through or the whole season. But now we are going to get next to our next team in the Pacific Division are the Vancouver Canucks. Now, they are coached to their 5th season with Travis Green, with a last season record of 23, 29, and 4. 7th in the Nova Scotia North Division, and obviously didn't qualify for the Stanley Cup playoffs. There are 3 keys that they need to focus on this year is this: getting Peterson and Hughes ready for the season. The Canucks re-signed number 1 center Ellis Pettersson and top defensive Quinn Hughes on Sunday, but not before they missed the start of training camp and preseason games as restricted free agents, leaving less than 2 weeks to get up to speed on system changes before the regular season, October 13th, at Edmonton Oilers. Coach Travis Green said, and I quote, he's concerned that the Canucks could start slowly again this season as a result. Last season, they were 6-11-1 through 18 games, and obviously they didn't qualify for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Pettersson had no goals, had one goal, 1 assist, and -5 in his first 8 games, and missed the final 30 games with a wrist injury. Hughes struggled defensively last season, finished -24, and might have to adjust to a new defensive partner for the 3rd straight season, with Travis Harmonic still not with the team for personal reasons, lingering questions about whether he'll play this season. The second is defending better. Defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson was acquired from the Arizona Coyotes in a trade on July 23rd. He said, and I quote, he hopes to change the scenery and a fresh start will help turn things around after a admitted decline in his past few seasons. The Canucks are counting on it to happen on the pair with Tucker Pullman, who signed a 4-year contract on July 28th. They also need better defending after giving up the 3rd most shots per game, 33.4, and 6th most goals per game, 3.34 last season. The hope in the system tweaks and renews emphasis under new assistant Brad Shaw, who was with the Columbus Blue Jackets for the past 5 seasons. Will be enough to reduce the number of high-quality chances they surrender. And number 3 is Demko building as a number 1 goalie. After a brilliant 3-season performances and release of Jacob Markstrom during the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs, average of .984 save percentage, 1 shutout, Thatcher Demko established himself as the starting goaltender last season by taking over what began as a job shared with Braden Holtby. Demko was 16-18-1 with a 2.85 goals against average and a .915 save percentage. And with a new 5-year contract, Holtby bought out, and Jovesit Halak signed as a backup. It's up to Demko to continue his ascension as the number 1 goaltender in the NHL. Now, Canucks, I will say this. Canadian teams have been struggling lately besides the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, and also the rise of the Edmonton Oilers. But we will get to those those Canadian teams here in just this, actually later on the awesome preview event, baby. Yeah, preview event. So now we are, sorry, I'm just scrolling to see who's in the division here real quick. And we are going to go to the lovely city of the Oilers. Speaking of the Oilers, in Edmonton, going back to the other Canadian team that is also fighting for a cup contending team this year, but we'll get to that later. So they are coached by David Tippett, third season. Last season they were 35, 19-2. They were second in the North Division, but they lost to Winnipeg Jets in the Stanley Cup first round. Yeah, they got swept, everyone. No one cares, but they got swept. Anyway, so the three keys for these guys, definitely goaltending must hold up. Mike Smith is 39 years old and has faced durability issues the past 3 seasons. Mikko Koskinen is 33 and has struggled with consistency. Smith, who signed a 2-year contract on July 24th, emerges as the number 1 goaltender for Edmonton, or was emerged as the number 1 goalie last season, when he was 21-6-2 with a 2.31 goals against average, 9.23 save percentage, and 3 shutouts in 32 games, 30 starts. After missing the first 3 weeks with a lower body injury. If Smith misses games this season, Koskinen will have to step up. He was 13-13, so 500. Remember, 500, with a 3.17 GAA and 8.99 save percentage in 26 games, 25 starts last season. Number 2 is improving forward depth. Zach Hyman, Warren Fogle, and Derek Ryan ideally will take some pressure off Connor McDavid. The reigning Hart Trophy winner voted as the most valuable player after leading the NHL with 105 points, 33 goals, 72 assists last season. Leon Draisaitl was second with 84 points, 31 goals, and 53 assists. Hyman scored 33 points, 15 goals, 18 assists in 43 games with the Toronto Maple Leafs last season. Fogle scored 20 points, 10 goals, 10 assists in 53 games for the Carolina Hurricanes. And Ryan, well, he scored 13 points, 2 goals, and 11 assists in 43 games with the Flames. Now, the third and final key for these guys is a new look defense. The Oilers will have 3 new defensemen in their top 6. So building chemistry in training camp and early in the season will be key. Duncan Keith was acquired in a trade with Chicago on the 12th of July, with forward Tim Sutherland for defenseman Caleb Jones and a conditional pick into the 2022 draft. Cody Ceci signed a 4-year contract on the 28th of July. Evan Bouchard is expected to move into a full-time role after the 21-year-old scored 5 points, 2 goals, and 3 assists in 14 games last season. Now, I want to say the Edmonton Oilers need to do well this year because I think they're going to be a really good team. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, you have Ken Holland as the GM manager there, and he knows what he's doing. and which is a good thing. Ken Holland is a good one. It's good. Okay, so now we are going in. So now we're gonna go to our lovely another Canadian team, the Calgary Flames. Whew, the Flames, man, it is hot, and the Flames are just coming over the place. Oh my goodness. All right. Anyway, so I'm trying to be a little funny here, guys. So they are also coached by Daryl Suter, second season, as they finished last year with 26, 27, and 3, fifth place in the Nova Scotia North. Okay, so before I do anything further, North Division was all Canadian teams. People who don't watch much hockey or didn't know what was going on with the realignment, the North was all Canadian teams. Cool, yeah, wonderful. But they did not qualify for the Cup playoffs. So here is 3 keys that will turn this franchise around, and I say franchise around is because of this. You have a full season under Suter. Yes, Derek Suter inherited a struggling Flames team after he was replaced by Goff Ward, right? Who was fired on March 4th of this year. Yes. During this season, remind you, the Flames were 15-15 under Suter and finished 4 points behind the Canadiens for the 4th and final playoff berth in the Scotia North Division. Having a 2-time Stanley Cup winning coach, LA in 12 and 14, in place for training camp and start of the season could and should benefit the Flames to be different, to be a different team this year to make the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, number 2 is forwards returning to form. The Flames were 2.77 goals per game last season, tied for 19th in the NHL with the Ottawa Senators. After averaging 2.91 goals per game the season before and finishing second with 3.25 goals per game in 2018 and 19, the decline is due in large part of the lack of production from the Calgary Flames top forwards. Johnny Gaudreau led the Calgary with 49 points, 19 goals, 30 assists in 56 games last season. 50 fewer than he tied Colorado Avalanche center Nathan MacKinnon for 7th in the NHL with 99 points, 36 goals, 63 assists in 82 games the year prior, so 1919. Sean Mohan, who is 2 seasons removed in an NHL career high of 30 goals, scored 10 goals last season. Matthew Tkachuk scored 43 goals, 43 points, 16 goals, 27 assists for his lowest point per game total of 0.76 since his second season in 17 and 18. Their return to top form is vital to the Flames offense. And the third and final, is overcoming Giordano's departure. The Flames will open a season without defenseman Mark Giordano for the first time since 2007 and 2008. That is crazy. He's been on the team for, I can't even mess up my head. That's a long-ass time. That's long. That's a decade and a half. I'll say that, decade and a half. After he was selected by the Seattle Kraken in 2021 in the expansion draft, Giordano scored 509 points, 143 goals, 366 assists in 949 games in the last 15 seasons. 15 seasons with the Calgary Flames and led them to an average ice time per game. It led an ice time per game of last season of 22 minutes and 57 seconds. The void left behind in the 2019 Norris Trophy winner voted as top defenseman in the NHL isn't measured by points or minutes. Giordano served as Calgary's captain from 2013 through 14, leaving as a big A hole off the ice as on it. Now, I don't know why that didn't make sense to me. I don't know if it made sense to you on that last part. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. It is. But anyway, we are going to go back to the United States, and we're going to talk about our lovely, not really, Arizona Coyotes. Coyotes. Yeah, let's go talk about the Arizona, not Phoenix, but Arizona Coyotes. Yeah, Coyotes. Sorry. I'm not a Coyotes fan. Everyone knows that. I hope not. I hope everyone doesn't know that I'm not a Coyote fan. Some people might be, but for those Coyote fans, good luck. Anyway, so let's get into the Coyotes, right? The Arizona Coyotes. They has a first-year coach of Andre Torgani. Okay, hopefully I got that name right. Last season, they finished 24, 26, and 6, fifth place in the Honda West Division. And obviously did not qualify for Stanley Cup playoffs because, hey, they were fifth. They didn't make it. They were shot. But anyway, we are going to go to the 3 key selection. Here we go. Number 1 is transition at goalie. The Coyotes are turning to Carter Hutton and Joseph Corner to replace goalie Darcy Kempfer, who was traded to the Coyotes on the 28th of July, and Anta Rana, who signed a 2-year contract with the Carolina Hurricanes that same day. Hutton will try to bounce back after he was 1-10-1 with a 3.47 goals against average and 88.6% save percentage in 13 games, 12 starts for the Buffalo Sabres last season. One curtailed by injury. Now, on the other hand, Carner played 10 games as a rookie last season with the San Jose Sharks. If either falters, the door may open for prospect Ivan Protefo sooner than expected. The 22-year-old will continue to develop with the Tuscan of the American Hockey League after making his NHL debut and playing 3 games last season. So I would like to say that's fantastic. Way to go, Ivan. Keep up the good work, man. We'll see you in the NHL soon. Okay. The second one is the emerging of young core. Now, I know a team that also has young core in it, and we will discuss it later in the in this awesome preview event. And Arizona Coyotes is counting on at least one of the young players to blossom after 23-year-old Jakub Charanon. Sorry if I got that last name wrong. I do apologize. Led the NHL defenseman with 18 goals and tied Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks for 10th in points. 41 in 56 games last season. The hope is forward Clayton Keller, 23, and Barrett Highton, 21, emerged to strengthen an offense that was ranked 23rd last year with 2.68 goals per game. A defensive Victor Strom stepped in for former captain Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who was traded to the Canucks. The 20-year-old from Sweden made his NHL debut, 1 goal, 1 assist in 4 games, and scored 10 points, 2 goals, 8 assists in 32 games for Tuscan last season. His first sorry folks, I was a little brain tumor. Back up. Okay, his first in North America. John Danik, will get a long look in training camp. The 20-year-old forward scored 1 goal in each of his first 2 NHL games and 14 points, 6 goals, 8 assists in 29 AHL, American Hockey League, games during his first pro season. Now this quote is from the Coyotes general manager, Bill Armstrong, that was said on September 7th. We've got to seize that opportunity for a roster spot and a chance to play higher in the lineup. Okay, so think about that. If you're a Coyotes fan, think about what Bill Armstrong says in that quote. Think about it, sink it in. Hopefully, good things are good to come as we get to our third key for these guys is pay now, win later. How Alex Andre Turkey. I just said Turkey. Wow, that was terrible. Tornke. I sound like Turkey for a second there, but anyway, back to the conversation here. Balance a rebuilding program and trying to win now is among the challenge facing the 47-year-old set coach as the NHL coach an NHL team for the first time. The Coyotes traded for 12 draft picks this offseason and used the number 9 selection in the 2021 draft to choose forward Dylan Gunther. Turnge's forte is player development as a 2-time Ontario Hockey League Coach of the Year with Ottawa, 18 and 19 and 19 and 20. Immediate success will be difficult with the move from the Pacific Division to a tougher Central Division and potential. Oh, shoot. Whoops, never mind. Okay, I forgot. That's right, they traded. Whoopsies. I messed up, folks. Oh boy. Yes, so we'll talk about them anyway because I made a screw up. But anyways, as the Arizona Coyotes are not in the Pacific Division anymore and they are transitioning into the Central Division, we are going to one of three LA or California teams. We go with the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks of Anaheim. Ducks of Anaheim. Ducks. Quack, quack, quack. Sorry, guys. I had to do that. I just had to do that because I wanted to. Because the quacking is good. Anyway, so as we are getting ready to go for the Anaheim Ducks, they definitely struggled last season. This is one of the teams that I follow very closely. One of 2 teams I follow very closely. Vegas is one of them that I follow very closely too. And and they are coached by Dallas Eakins. Third season. Last year was a very disappointing year for the franchise. They were 17, 30, and 9, eighth in the Honda West division, and obviously did not qualify for that Stanley Cup. So the three keys for the Ducks are as followed: scoring concerns. Now the Ducks literally have not been hasn't been scoring. The scoring percentage is 2.1 goals per game, and it were basically towards the bottom tier of goals scored. Among the notable forwards 24 or younger are Travis Zargas, 20, Isaac Lindrum, 21, Mark Kamatos, 22, Max Jones, 23, and Sam Steele, 23, and Troy Terry, 24. Kamatos, 16 goals, and Adam Henquist, 12, were the only players to score at least 10 goals this season. And Kamatos' 33 points were tied for 111th in the NHL, but led the Ducks in scoring. Zargas, the number 9th pick in the 2019 draft, scored 13 points, 3 goals, and 10 assists in 24 games. Now, the next one is very, very, very an interesting key, and that's Getzlaf's leadership. Now, Getzlaf's been playing on this team for at least 15 years. 15 years, and he is one of the head of this franchise. Now, he did agree to a 1-year contract to stay with the Ducks on July 28th, and he's 36 years old, and he became captain on October 4th. So you think about it. For October 4th, 2010, he got named the captain. Today, October 4th, 2021. So he's been captain for the last 11 years. 11 years as captain. So, he may be shifting to a second or third line role and maybe play a few minutes, maybe playing fewer minutes on the power play, and his presence will be invaluable for those young players in the lineup. He scored 17, 5 goals, and 12 assists in the last 48 games. Improvement of the power play is the third key in this. The Ducks are very hoping the young players like defenseman Jamie Dreidel can boost a power play that was last in the NHL with 8.9% last season. Their 11 power play goals were the fewest in the NHL. Draisaitl, I think it's Draisaitl. Okay, chose the number 6 in the 2020 draft. Scored eight points, 3 goals, and 5 assists in 24 games last season, and could play a significant role on a man advantage with his skating and ability on the transition. Kamato, Zachris, and Terry could thrive on the top power play unit. So I do want to say too, this is also one of the youngest teams in the NHL by far. They're obviously I want to say they're a rebuild, but we want to say rebuilds are everything, but rebuilds are kind of different on each person's mind of what a rebuild is. I don't want to get into that discussion because people are like, rebuild is this, rebuild is that, new regime. Okay, anyway, sorry. I had to do a little rant. I had to do a little rant there, and I do apologize. I know this is longer than people think it is, but I'm very sorry. I know it is. So we got two more teams. I'm scratching what I said with the Coyotes. You guys can skip that part. if you guys are listening to it, or if you're listening to this scratch out of that, because I will be rediscussing the Phoenix Coyotes again in part 2 of the preview event and kind of go from there, okay, without any distraction. So we are going to be talking about the San Jose Sharks, the second team out of the in the California state, and they are coached by Bob Broshainer, third season. Last season, they were 21, 48, and 7. They were 7th in the West Division, and obviously didn't qualify for the playoffs. So we're gonna go with. So here's the 3 keys for this year. They got number 1 is Hurdle's future and Kane's status. The Sharks have 2 big questions this year among their top 6 forward groups: the long-term future of Thomas Hurdle and his immediate future, and the immediate future of Evander Kane. Hurdle can become a restricted free agent after this season, and the Sharks, who have missed the Stanley Cup playoffs the last 2 seasons after qualifying for 14 of the last previous 15, may look to deal him ahead of the 2022 NHL deadline if they are out of contention. He said on September 24th he's open to take less money to stay with the Sharks if they're in position to win. He scored 323 points, 151 goals, 172 assists in 505 regular season games, 42 points, 24 goals, 18 assists in 62 playoff games, and helped San Jose reach the 2016 Stanley Cup Finals for a Game 6 loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Bummer! Penguins! Anyway, Kane is not participating in training camp and is unclear when he will return. The forward was alleged to have bet on NHL games, including those involved the Sharks. Dude, really? Idiot. Why would you want to bet on your team, or why you want to bet? You're a player. Players don't bet. People who don't play the sport bets. Okay? Sorry. Little rant. I'm sorry. But this guy's an idiot. I'm sorry. Okay? Sharks fans, I'm sorry. The NHL announced September 23rd there is no evidence to support these claims following an investigation, but that it was looking into 2 other additional allegations against Kane. Kane led the Sharks with 22 goals and 49 points in 56 games last season. Sorry about that rant. I understand people have point of views about Evander Kane, but still. Number 2 is goaltending. The Sharks are deciding between Adrian Hill and James Reimer, if not a timeshare, and hope the goaltending will be better than the past 3 seasons when they finished either 30th or 31st in team save average. Hill was acquired in a trade with the Arizona Coyotes on the 17th of July. The 25-year-old signed a 2-year contract on August 4th to avoid a NHL arbitration hearing after going 9-9-1 with a 2.74 goals against average, 9.13 saving percentage, and 2 shutouts in an NHL career, 19 games, 17 starts last season. Reimer is an 11-season NHL vet who signed a 1-year deal on July 28th. He was 15-5-2 with a 2.66 GAA. and .906 save percentage in 22 games, 21 starts for the Hurricanes last season. Now, there's a quote. Don't tell me who it's by. Found this quote online. Okay. They're both aggressive goalies. Oh, this is the coach. Sorry, guys. Found it by the coach. I just found it right there. They're both aggressive goalies, and they're both fighters in net. Bronner said. I'm not saying we didn't have that before, but I think the energy and the percent of battling and fighting for every puck, fighting through traffic and things like that. I think they're going to help us, which is always a good thing. Goaltending is where it's at. Goaltending is the most hardest position in out of all NHL. You know, this is how it is. Goalies are just it's tough. And final thing is number 3, the identity. What is going to be the identity for the San Jose Sharks this coming season with Nick Bonino and Andrew Cogliano, who were signed to bring a work ethic. Bronner said he hopes spreads the rest of the Sharks. Bonino has called as a 12-season NHL vet and a 2-time Stanley Cup champion with the Penguins in 16 and 17. Cogliano, who played 100 postseason games and was with the Dallas Stars for 6-game loss to Tampa Bay in the 2020 Stanley Cup Finals. Now, this is going to be an interesting year to see how the Sharks are going to do. Can they do it? Can they not do it? Just depends on how the identity goes for that. Okay, so I know you guys are bear with me here. I know some people aren't watching, but hey, you know what? We're almost done. We got one more team to discuss in the Pacific Division. Now, these are the last team in the state of California, the LA Kings. Yes, the LA Kings. Now let's get started here with the LA Kings to wrap things up as a whole and enjoying life after this. Okay, they are coached by Todd McLaughlin. Right, third season with them. Last year they were 21, 28, and 7. They were 6th in the West, and obviously that didn't qualify to the playoffs. Now, their big 3 keys for this season are as follows. The first one is seize the opportunity. The question is, seize the opportunity. Why would you think number 1 key for LA is seize the opportunity? Well, let me tell you something, brother. They have a realistic chance to make the playoffs for the first time since 2017-18 completed in the Pacific Division with the expansion team of the Seattle Krakens and 4 teams, the Flames, the Calgary Flames, the Vancouver Canucks, San Jose, and the Anaheim Ducks that did not qualify last season. Forward Philip Deneau and Victor Odetson were added to a veteran core of forward Andre Kopitar and Dustin Brown, defenseman Drew Doughty, and goaltender Jonathan Quick. There's a fertile base of young players. Defense Mikey Anderson, Toby Jonnerfo, sorry, I can't pronounce that name again, and forward Gabriel Baldery and Jardet Anderson Dolan. Okay. Getting their footing in the NHL and prospect forward Quentin Byfield, Alex Turcotte, Arthur close to breaking through. Now, this is from Kopitar himself, the captain. We've passed the rebuilding part, Kopitar said. We're here to win. We've been in a position the last few years where we're more in a rehab mode. It's time to make some noise and take the next step. Now, going from a captain, yes, take the next step. You guys have been struggling, and it's time. And it's time that the rebuilding time era in LA is done. That's what he said. We need to start getting forward. We need to start going pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Get my little break up the little dance moves. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Anyway, so the second key for them is the play of Peterson. This could be the season. 26-year-old goaltender Calvin Pettersson receives the torch from Quick, a 35-year-old, a two-time Stanley Cup champion in 2012 and 14. Pettersson started 32 games last season to Quick's 22, marking the second time since 2009 and 2010 that Quick didn't lead the King goalies in starts. The previous time was 16 and 17 when Quick was limited to 17 games because of a lower body injury. Pettersson was 9, 18, and 5 with a 2.89 goals against average and a .911 saves percentage in the NHL, career high 35 games last season. Fantastic. Awesome. Let's see the young gun can beat the old veteran, for that starting job. And I'm sure that he'll do really well. And Noel and Quick is a fantastic goaltender. So taking him underneath the wing of a veteran will help Calvin Pettersson do very well in this league. So I'm looking forward to see how he does this season. Number 3 and final is next line of defense. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to picture this last name again. Ben Junmerfunt, 20, and Anderson, 22, must find the next level with Doughty, 31, leading the Kings in ice time per game every season since joining the NHL in 2008-2009, including 26 minutes and 23 seconds last year. Los Angeles signed 35-year-old defenseman Alexander Edler to a 1-year contract on July 28th to help guide the young players in the position. In the pipeline is Brent Clark, an 18-year-old who was the 8th pick in the 21 NHL draft and expected to play for Brier of the Ontario Hockey League this season. Now, first of all, it's a good rebuilding structure there for LA. It's good that they are signing all of these veterans to help the young guys out to understand how the game works and train these guys and see how to stay position-wise. But besides that, that is your Pacific Division preview. I am very sorry this is super long. I know our attention span isn't that good, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's going to be more coming up in the next 3 days. Because tomorrow we are going to be breaking down the Central Division, very, very intense division in the Western Conference. So I'm very excited to talk about this. And then we're going to go into the Eastern Conference, and we're going to discuss those in the Eastern Conference. So from there on, I'm Alex Brewer. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. I will reply back for any questions for anyone who thinks the Pacific Division will be good this year or who will come out of the division, I will bring my Pacific Division predictions this coming weekend, so you stay tuned for that. Besides that, guys, till tomorrow, have a wonderful day, and let's get hyped for the NHL season.